Hello, thank you for being here. I feel like I'm all up in your grill today. We are doing a look for Creative Art with Heart collab on Instagram. The host and creator is Leah Evangelista. I will link her Instagram below. And there were several cards. I think I want to say at least 5 cards that we can choose inspiration from. One of them was I Am Golden. And so the look had graphic, golden lines and designs on the face. And another one of the prompts said, "Baby, I'm a star." So this is going to be kind of literal for me because we're going to be using our Natasha Denona golden palette, and within my Natasha Denona palette, this shade, this one, and this one are from the Natasha Denona mini star palette. So this palette is golden and star, so it's going to be quite literal. I don't have a look planned out yet. Inner Realms, trying to stay with the theme. I have from MAC, this is Stage 5 Clinger. They do not make this shade anymore. And on my lower lash line, I have NYX Vivid Rich Mechanical Liner, and this shade is Amber, what does that say? Amber Stunner. And so this was the closest to a gold that I have. We will most likely, and we're going to do all of this in the video, so I probably need to stop talking and get to it, but I'm just really excited. We'll probably use this yellow here. And I do have a stencil that has stars, and so we may put this on one side of the face. I don't have a gold lip, I just realized that, but that doesn't mean I couldn't put on a gloss and then tap over it with a golden eyeshadow. So that is probably what we do. For right now, we're going to put on the City Beauty Sangria Plumping Lip Oil, and full face is done, of course. I did use Golden Pyrite today from House Labs. This is, the golden theme, and something that I seldom ever do. I did put some here. I did do my highlight, of course, and I very seldom ever highlight my forehead, so I put some of this there. I never highlight my Cupid's bow, so I put some there. I never highlight my chin. I put some there. So it is something that's not really noticeable, but for me, I'm like, let me just do all the things that I normally don't do. And I'm looking for a clear gloss to use later, or I might just tap one of these shadows over top of this lip oil because it will stick. So for right now, we're going to prime the eye. And also with the stencil, I may use Contemplative State. In a way, it blends into my skin tone, and in a way it doesn't. On my lid, it blends in, but as I get up here, it turns mustard. This is not, this is Contemplative State. So we might use this one for the stars, for the stencil. I thought about pulling out my Mayron water activated paints to do designs and stuff on my face, and then I'm like, do I really want to pull all that out? Because that's all packed up in my kit, so I'm just like, I don't know. But for right now, let's go ahead and prime the eye, and I will do the intros as usual. The Fenty eyeshadow primer. I do have a glitter here. We may or may not use that. I do have a gold glitter that's in my kit. This is the one I kept out because it was similar to another color that I had. So I'm like, why do I need 2 of these? But I'm going to use this one time, and this is almost empty, so there is really not a lot in there. Max Paint Pot and Groundwork that we're going to put on top of the Fenty. So we're going to prime the lid. I'm going to do the intro, and then we are going to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with these palettes. I am thinking a halo look, but I'm not sure. I kind of don't think so. We may do that. We may do that. Yeah, so, or not. let me prime the eye because I'm looking at it and I don't have a plan, as you can tell. And so hello again and welcome. My name is Dion. I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube. Why do I call it that? Crazy concept. Here we go. You ready? Be your authentic self. Yeah, that's crazy these days when people tell you who and how you should be. Be your authentic self. That's the crazy part. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. You may hear, you have to use this brand, you have to use this tool, you should do this, you should do that. I'm here to tell you, use whatever you want to, however you want to, whatever technique, whatever tools, whatever brand, to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it, because you set the standard for yourself. The bottom line here at the Crazy Troll Nation is self-acceptance and self-love. Embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Here's another concept, y'all, and this is really the bottom line. Underneath all of that is love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. I do hope that resonates with you, and it warms my heart, y'all. Like when someone comments saying, you know, I'm new to your channel, you know, I love your intro, I love what the channel stands for. And I just want for all of us to just enjoy playing in our makeup and not being too concerned with what other people may think, because who's to judge your makeup in the first place? I have started a professional makeup journey career September, October 2024, and I still don't tell people you should do this, you should do that. And some of the stuff they taught me in the class doesn't work for certain eye shapes or for certain complexions. And so even with that, it's like, who are you? Not meaning my instructors, because it's like school. You have to learn what they say to learn and do it in a way that they are satisfied with it so you can graduate. But in the real world, you know, one thing does not work for everybody. And so, you know, just wear what you want to wear and rock it. And that's one of the joys when I have a client that says, oh, just do, you know, a fun look with fun colors. And I say, what kind of colors or what shades? Because I don't want to use green if they hate green. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, oh, well, some of my favorite colors are such and such. And I'm like, I got you. And so that's what we do. I forgot to mention two things about me at the end of the intro that I want y'all to know. Sometimes I curse because sometimes I curse. Some people are offended by it, some don't care. And so I don't want to be offensive. And so I said, you know what? Let me just try to remember to say that in the beginning. So if I do curse, you won't be like, oh, clutch my pearls. And the other thing is, there's an organism that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches. I do try to be aware of it. I promise you, I do try to be aware of it to say, excuse me. But then there's sometimes when I'm just talking a lot, like right now, and I may hiccup or my throat will do a thing, and I am not aware of it. And then when I watch it back after it has aired, I'm like, dag, you just like gurgled like 3 times and it was loud and you did not say anything. And so, but I do try to be aware of it. So this is paint pot and groundwork. So we're going to get into this look. I do kind of want to do a halo white, but I'm looking at these colors like, I don't know. And for some reason, I'm thinking one of these colors was hard to blend for some reason. But we're going to start with, I think we are going to do a halo type thing. We're going to start with this shade here. This shade right here is Teak. And, excuse me, I am seeing where the paint pot is not blended in this area right there. And the way my muscles are, you see how this pops out? And even my the paint management doctor, he's like, you're, I know, I'm like, I'm different. He's like, yeah, that's strange. But yeah, people's face shapes, my face shape, you know, we have our own little things going on. But yeah, so like my bone is like right there, and over here is like right there. And if I frown, yeah, you can see how it just pops out. So we're gonna put this also on the outer corner. The halo looks I like for myself, it took me years, like literally years, to do a halo look in a way that I liked it. And how I like it is I take the second to the darkest shade all the way in and all the way out. And then the darker shade I'll put here and I'll put here, versus usually it's the darkest shade all the way out and all the way in. And I think it has something to do with this puffy area that I got going on. And I also don't always like to bridge my halo look, because to me sometimes it just looks weird having that line right there. And again, it's because of the puffiness of my eyes, well, my eyelids. And so, but it took me years. And so we're going for a halo look that I like for myself. And I do like it best when it's just a strip of light just down the center for the halo part. I learned early on that I didn't like doing the traditional halo look, because this whole thing would be a shimmer. And so because I have the puffy area, it just made it look bigger and puffier. Whereas a dark shade will diminish how big it looks. And that's why I don't highlight the tip of my nose. It would just make the tip of my nose look bigger. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the same concept. If anything, which I usually do, is put bronzer on my nose, and sometimes I may put a little bit of blush. But yeah, I don't want to highlight big puffy areas of my face or my nose. I don't even contour my nose actually, because it goes to accepting my natural features. I have a wide ass nose, and you know what? I love it. And so I have never, I think I tried it maybe twice, because people are like, oh, contour your nose, contour your nose. I learned very quickly, like, it's not worth it for me to contour my nose and then not look like me. And that's one of my gripes about, we're gonna take another brush. I'm taking out different brushes than the ones I have out, which are the ones that I washed yesterday from that look. And we're gonna take Varus, this shade here. So it's not too much darker than this, but remember, we are going for a golden look. Or do I want to take this shade from Star? We're going to take this shade from Star. I'll talk about that in another video, because I have a video I want to do, myths, misconceptions, and my personal experience as a professional makeup artist, because there's just some things I'm just like, like no. But for me, number one, if I'm not really liking how a client's look is coming out, I do keep a straight face and I just fix it, and they never know. And the end result is they really love their look. That's what matters to me, not what somebody else may say. Oh, you should have did this, you should have did that. Well, the client liked it, so why, like what? Who are you? And, and so that's just one of my gripes. And even just in general, people will say, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't wear this color eyeshadow, you shouldn't wear blah blah blah. And I'm just like, get away from me. Like, why? Why do you care? Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I did the presentation for an event, and I did talk about it that night. And when I came home and I did a video, I did a troll play. I did a look, and then I added troll play to it. So it was two separate videos. And a person walked up, and I know her. And actually, she's one of the people where I did her face at the event in May. And she had on two different eyeshadow looks. So one had blue, and one looked like maybe it was something there. Couldn't really tell. And I said, you have on two eyeshadow looks? She was like, yeah. She said, I do this at home sometimes, but I thought I want to start just experimenting and wearing it out. And I love that, because y'all know when I do two-tone looks, I do go out like that. And so I was like, girl. And she had on like a reddish black top lip, and the bottom lip was just a red. It looked nice. I was like, I love it. I love it. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, people may be concerned too much, or maybe self-conscious about going out in two-tone looks, or, you know, stuff like that. And it's fun for me when I do it, because somebody will say, I like your eyeshadow look, and I'll say which one, and then they'll look and be like, oh, they are different. I like them both. I'm like, thank you. And so that's kind of a fun thing, because whatever side of you they're standing on, that's what they see. Or even sometimes people are in front of me and they don't notice, like, this side is brown and this side is red. And I'm just like, okay. And also some people are not, they're not very detail oriented. And so stuff does just kind of like blend together. This side to me always looks darker than that side. And I think because they're like, let me see. But now there's a shadow from something. I think it might be my mirrors down here. So I'm gonna leave that on, but it does make a difference, because yeah, it makes this side look lighter to me. So I don't want to keep putting more of this shade here, because then I'll look later and it'll be too dark. And I'm like, where this side is looking dark. But we're gonna move on. So I'm gonna put this brush away. We're gonna take another small brush. These are the Esom V27s, and so is this one. The newer ones are the black handles, and they're angled, which I love, so I had to get some. And these are the older V27s, silver handle, and it's not tapered. Excuse me. I think we're gonna take, excuse me for that glare, this shade right here, and this shade is Nubia. This is also part of my Natasha Denona series. Each palette that I have, I'm going to do a look with each palette, and then we're going to pair the palettes, like how we did with Pat McGrath before. And so I am excited. I feel like I'm going to declutter some stuff. And our upcoming live stream, which you'll see that way before this, is that I am considering a declutter. And so we're going to figure that out in the live stream. I don't know, I just keep feeling like I just want to get rid of stuff. And I was telling someone that the less stuff I have, it's like the more peaceful my life is. And it may be because what I keep is stuff that I really, really enjoy. And so I don't miss, you know, the stuff that I'm ambivalent about. And I've never liked clutter. I am a giver. I've always been a giver as well. And so for me to give something away, it's never been a big deal for me. And people are like, oh my gosh, you're really giving this to me? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, and I'm just like it's not a big deal to me. But I do understand it is a big deal to other people, because sometimes people are not used to receiving things, or then they're looking for what they can give back. And I say, I don't give to receive. I give just because it's in my heart to do it. And I like things that have a happy home too. So when I give something away and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you, I'm like, thank you for giving it a home, because I can have the nicest thing, and if it's just sitting here not being used, it's like, what's the point? Like, why is it here? It's just taking up space. I wasted money on it to do nothing with it. I am wanting this to be a little bit darker. So what I'm thinking, because I don't want it to look too bright in the entire center, so we're going to put that brush down. We're going to take another one. I got a lot of them. And we're going to take Varus, this shade right here, and we're going to put that on top of Nubia. And we're going to see what that does. Oh, that's pretty. Ooh, okay, that's pretty. I'm thinking now, like, maybe I shouldn't have picked golden to do a halo look. I think I did a halo look with this before, though. And we are overlapping to get our blend. And I think this is looking good. There was something on my mind. I've been in a singing mood lately. And not that I sing well. I tell people, everyone can sing, everyone just doesn't sing well. I am partially tone deaf, seriously. And someone who sings really well told me that. And they didn't say it to be mean. And sometimes I'm on key, and then sometimes I'm off key, but I'm not always good at telling the difference of where I am at that time when I'm singing. And sometimes I'll hear someone singing and it sounds off key, but I'm like, okay, that's a record, that's an album. So I know they can sing, or they wouldn't be a professional singer. So I'm like, okay, it must be just the way my ear is perceiving the sound to be. So I do like this. I do think this still looks dark. So we're just going to take this brush still that has Varus on it, and we're just going to feather that right there, because that to me is where it's looking dark. And I could take the first shade, which was teak, or I could even take this shade just to like tone that down, but I don't want to do too much. Like how this looks right here is how when I sit straight this side looks. And so we're going to just leave it like that. So I'm going to take one more brush, like the one we have. When I like a brush, I get more. Yeah. And I use a clean brush for each shade, and I don't, you know, color switch. And so for me, I do use, even though I have a lot of brushes, I do use the brushes. There's a few I don't use, and I keep thinking to declutter. I'm looking in this palette. I want to take Oro, because I remember this being really bright, this shade right here. And so we are going to swipe in here. We're going to tap off, and we're just going to come straight down the center. And we're going to just lightly feather the edges. And that's it. So I swipe twice, and we're going to come straight down. For me, this brush is perfect for that area. And we're going to lightly feather to blend the edges. And this is our halo look. And I like it. Okay, that was weird. Okay, excuse me for that, whatever that was. Lower lash line, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these brushes because I love the Fenty 220 for lower lash line, and I think I have like 4 of them. I do have 4 of them. Label for me, brush for me, Penzies hoe. I used to be a chapstick hoe, but now I'm stuck on City Beauty lip stuff. So we are going to take, we're going to put Varus, this shade here, on the outer portion of the outer half of our, I know my sentence is not making sense, the outer half of our lower lash line. That's nice. So this is literal, and one of the many things that I love about the collab is she'll say be as minimal as you want, be as bold as you want. So it's like whatever you want to do, that's what you do. If you want to be a maximus, is that a word? You know, do all the things. Well, she doesn't say it that way, but she's like, be as minimal as you want or do as much as you want. And I like that because sometimes it's like, okay, I need to just do a whole bunch of things. And it's just like, come as you are, do a look, and that's it. And so I really love that. And also when I wanted to be sure to, we're going to take the clean one and we're going to go into that same shade we put on the center Oro. And I had a note to put in my calendar to do troll play at least twice a month, because I don't want to just get heavy into doing creative looks when just when there's a big event coming up. And I'm like, creative art with heart satisfies that, because it's every week. It's every week. And so I'm like, you know what, this will satisfy that, and it will help me to come out of my comfort zone a little bit or do something new. And working with the stencils, which I am going to do, that's not new for me, but it's still something different and something creative. And so I like this, y'all. Going back and forth where the two shades meet, we're going to pick up the brush that had the outer lower lash line shade. We're going to put that there. I'm going to put those away. So yeah, so this is the eyeshadow look. No, it's not. We're going to take this brush, which I always want to say E-Some because it's E45, but this is a Sigma brush, and I'm thinking this shade, like just under my brow. It looks a little deeper in person, and I don't remember if it makes me look ashy. The only time I like bridging my halo is if it is a shade that's almost my skin tone. And so you can see here it looks a little different than here, but not much. But how some people do like a completely, well, a noticeable shade. Like I don't always like how that looks. Yeah, but this one I like. So this is a halo look I like. Janessa and I are supposed to, well, not supposed to because we are. Last year we had a pact to perfect our wing liner. We're both, we carried that over into 2025. So we're still perfecting our wing liner. She even purchased this tool for me, and I used it one time and it worked really well. But sometimes I forget that I have it, even though it's sitting like right here, so I won't forget. And so for this year, we also added on, we're going to experiment with halo looks, like different shapes, different color placements. But for halos, the center is always light, unless we do, I want to do a reverse halo. I did one before that I forgot about until just now, and it was definitely different, and I enjoy it because I enjoy doing stuff that's different. Like I don't want to do stuff that is typical, and typical has a place because it's really easy and simple. It's going to look nice, but sometimes I just want to just do something different. And so this is that. Do I want to put anything under my brow bone? Yeah. Thank you for being here with me while I am figuring out this look. We're going to take Alchemist, this shade, Did I tell y'all what this shade was? Yeah, that was Sandstone. So the one underneath it, Alchemist, we are going to take and just put right here. So look at that. So this is no highlight, even though it looks like it is, because of the Fenty primer, which says Invisipink, and then Groundwork Paint Pot. And so even this, to me, I'm cool with, because it looks like it's a highlight there and it's not. This right here, you just see that little bit of shine, just a little bit of shine. So sometimes I don't do a brow bone highlight, but I find that I do just like that strip of light. You see what I mean? So looking from this one, yeah, that's nice. This one, that's nice too, I think. Let me know what you think. The Creative Art with Heart collab, I think I did say I will link Leah's Instagram below. It's an open collab. You don't have to do every week if you don't want to. Everybody's welcome, and she will put your look in a story, and also when she does the roundup of the look for that week, you know, she'll put everybody's picture and she'll tag you. So if you're wanting exposure on Instagram, that's a good way to do it too. And I didn't do it for that. I did it because, yeah, I want to just start doing different things. And so, yeah, whatever your motive is. And it is fun. It can be overwhelming if you have a lot of stuff to do, and it seems like you have a lot of stuff to do all the time. And then it's like, oh, shoot, this collab, you know, do this week. They're due on, because this one's due on the 9th. I think that's Monday. This one we didn't use, so we're going to put that away. This we didn't use, we're going to put that away. So I'm looking now in here. We are going to just use, but that's not even gold. So I'm just like, part of me is like, just leave it. And even if I put this, like, is it going to show up? And I seldom use these for upper lash line. Let's try that because it is gold. But then I have a feeling I'm going to mess this up because, number one, it's not pointy. But let's see. Trying something new here. So we're going to put this up here. And I am just going lightly because I don't know what it's going to do. Excuse me, I'm not going to bother putting any on the center because it's already gold. And I am just going like really lightly. And because we're doing this, we're not going to do much of a wing. Yeah, that's kind of there, not there. Yeah, so this is going to be it. Feather it just a little bit. Just a little bit of love. A little bit. Here's a little tiny wing. So yeah, so I do really like the waterliners, and I didn't even think about it today, until today, that there's not a gold shade, because I am being literal here, using the golden / star palette for I am golden and baby I'm a star. So, and that's the thing too, like, it's whatever you want the look to be, as long as it's one of the themes, or, well, for each theme there are options to choose from. So you just pick which one you want to do and do it. And some people, it is just an eyeshadow look, and some people are, you know, they do put, you know, graphic designs on their face, and, you know, different shapes, and, you know, stuff like that. And so I really like how it's whatever you want to do, that's what you do. And it's just a lot of fun seeing creatives come together, just doing something that we love to do, which is play and makeup and do creative stuff. So just a little tiny wing. We are connecting it to the bottom. This is what was on the bottom. But like this, it doesn't look like it's connected because of how my skin folds over. But yeah, you see it is in there. But yeah. So that's going to be that. So I'm going to put this away because we're not going to use that. You know what? I had a brush. What brush did I have out for? I think we had this one out for Contemplative State to do the stars. We're going to go ahead and put on our excuse me, mascara. I thought to put on the Foo Foo lashes, but they do kind of cover up the look. Because not only are they very thick, like they're very voluminous. They're huge, and that's one reason before I didn't really care about lashes because I want my eyeshadow look to show, and it already gets hidden on my mobile lid, like when I look up, because of my puffy transition area. But there are some lashes where they're not that fluffy, that thick, and you can see the eye look through it. And so those I do like. And I got into lashes when I was in the program because they were like, especially for bridal makeup, they were like, even if the bride says no, talk them into at least a half lash because of pictures. You know what I mean? It'll show up in pictures better than no lashes. And so I was like, okay, I need to start working with lashes if I'm gonna be working with lashes. I love this mascara. This is Esom, and it's called the mascara. And so my first time putting on them, I call them foo-foo lashes. They came in a kit, and those things are long, they're voluminous, they're bushy. When I blink, I can see it. Like, it's my first time I put them on, I could not take myself seriously. I was like, what the frick is this? But by the third time I put lashes on, including playing with cluster lashes, like it's okay. So it only took me 3 times to get the hang of it and to be comfortable with it. And so I am glad that, you know, the program was like, yeah, lashes, because I probably would have not done it, but eventually I would have had to, especially if I'm going to be doing makeup on other people, because some people always wear lashes. Most people who I do, they're newer to makeup, or they don't wear makeup often, and so they really just don't care about lashes. But yeah, y'all, look at this mascara. My lashes here are shorter than over here, so that's why this looks like it's more than on this side. Thank you for being here, and I'm saying that because we're already at 30 minutes. I do appreciate your time. I have some new subscribers. Hello, and I appreciate you. I do have a channel membership. It's $2.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. I do members only live streams, members only post. So if you do join the membership, make sure you turn your notifications on to all. Even if I need to switch a live because I'm not feeling sick or I need to time change it, you know, I will do a post for that. And so if you do join, if it's not really inconvenient and overwhelming, make sure your notifications are turned on to all. And I say that because I have something go up almost every day, and that's a lot, especially if you're subscribed to a lot of people. We're going to do the lip right now, and we're going to put shadow right on top of, I want a small brush for this. I'm going to take this brush, and we're going to take Oro, this shade here, which is in the center and first half lower lash line. So we're going to swipe the side of the brush, and I should have put a color under here. That just looks like a gloss. The reason I didn't put a color under here, and even though sangria looks like it's a color, y'all see, like on me, it's not. Tag, y'all, I'm almost done. I just opened this. When did I open this? I opened this at the end of February. And it has a 6-month PAO. And so I do use it in 6 months. I didn't want to put, oh, this is looking nice. This is making me think of Egyptian makeup, how they used a lot of golds. I didn't want to put anything underneath of this because depending on the lipstick, depending on if the shadow is dual chrome or multi-chrome, it may look golden here, you put it on, it might turn blue. You know what I mean? And so that's why I didn't want to, or just a combination of colors. You know what I mean? Like if I put on a blue lipstick and put this on, it's going to turn green, that type of thing. And I do want it to be gold. Oh, this is pretty. This is something new too, where if you don't want to buy a lot of lippies, use your eyeshadow. One of the many things I like about Notoriously Morbid and Spellcast Beauty, it'll tell you which shades are lip safe and which ones are not, even though some people will just put whatever on anyway. But I like that they actually let us know. And it's usually on the back of the palette where the shadow names are. That is pretty. So now, you know what I'm going to do? This is going to be my I Am Golden, and Oh my, that was loud. Excuse me. This is going to be the look for I Am Golden. Stuff is popping up for you to watch. Just doing the stencil, it'll be a short video because this is all we're going to put on, and so you can come back and watch that when that's posted. Thank you for being here. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.